All right, Grasshoppers, we are going to break down the heavyweight tournament finals between Ryan Bader and Fedor Emelianenko. It is January 26th for Bellator. Now, Fedor, 6 foot, 42 years old, 240 pounds. Reach, 76-inch reach. He has a 38-5 record, tons of experience, along with the Sambo competition as well. So I'm not quite sure how many Sambo matches he has, but probably a lot, right? You know, I'm not quite sure how much they compete in Russia, but looking at the track record, they seem to be pretty awesome. So that's alluding to the fact that they probably have about 3,000 matches by the time they're 10, but maybe not. But Ryan Bader, he's 6'2", so he's taller, 35, a bit more youthful in his prime. And he's got the champion's mindset right now as well, which is a big key victory for him in this fight. His champion mindset, he truly believes he is the champion. And his last fight against Mitrione, he mauled him.
Definitely.
And you could tell he just has that. He's got the confidence. He has exactly that confidence, that champion's belief. And that's something that Fedor's going to have to overcome. But now again, Ryan Bader's 230. So he's taller, a bit more youthful, and a little bit faster, lighter. So, and his record, 25-5. But he has a shorter reach, a 74-inch reach, so even though he's taller, shorter reach. And that will play into the factor of the fight because Fedor likes to draw back, hit the plant cross, and with that plant cross, like we're talking,
he's going to have to keep his movement, keep the dangles on the plant cross.
Yes, he will have to keep his motion going because if he plants there too long, Ryan Bader's going to hit that blast double, get him down, ground and pound all night long. So we want to make sure that Fedor keeps the motion going.
Keeps the angle.
Keeps the angle. Yeah, that's a good key piece because one thing Coach Banks is really good at is he'll draw back and then cut the angle. And that's what I feel Fedor needs to do. And we're going to take you through this. We're going to turn this into a class, guys. But you'll catch Coach Banks' footwork on this drill. It's going to pull him in, but off the angle with the plant cross. But we're going to pendulum style so we keep the motion going. Right. Now, with Ryan Bader, he's going to have to corral Fedor against the cage, get that blast double, implement his ground and pound, and that champion's mindset. Right. So turn this into a class and have some fun, Grasshoppers. All right, Grasshoppers, it is now time to break down exactly what I feel Fedor should be doing against Ryan Bader and what Ryan Bader should be doing against Fedor. Coach Banks, please. First, we need to warm up. We're going to warm up the single punch series 3 for 3. So Coach Banks will throw 3 jabs, one at a time, nice and light, to make sure we get warmed up and in sync with each other. 1, 2, 3. Now I'll throw 3 jabs. 1, a little bit of head motion in between. 2, 3. Now crosses, straight out. 1, 2, 3. And we're not adding much footwork right now to stationary warming up, but get a little bit of head motion in there so you have good habits, okay? With the cross, make sure you turn the punch at the end, not now. Because you turn it now, the elbow comes out, start flaring, telegraphing your shot. And that's one thing that Fedor does very well, is he just throws the punch right from where it's at. It's rarely anywhere else. He doesn't drop and loop it. He doesn't drop his left hand. It just comes straight out. So that's one key to victory for him as far as him being able to be deceptive with his punches and pull people in. There's literally no telegraphing key. He just knocks that punch right from there. It's smooth. It's very nice to watch.
And if you notice, he's very accurate. And by doing that as a good pad holder, keep your partner honest and have your pads right where your chin's gonna be, right? Not where it's out here, that does no good. When he throws, I want to be where my fight and my striking is going to be. Because if I hold pads here, I'm going to strike here.
That's one thing Coach Banks is big on, is making sure that the way you train is the way you should fight, and vice versa. It should all be the same, which is what Miyamoto Masashi always said, right? You're going to fight the way you train. So there it is. Good point, Ninja. Thank you, sir. So I'll get a couple more crosses. Again, make sure you turn the punch at the end, and try not to telegraph or anything. A lot of times people will drop and loop in it, or they'll turn it out first and then punch. Just right where the hand's from. Boom. Just right there. Pop. Okay? So, you know what, Coach, get a couple more crosses for me, Ninja. Yeah, sir. 2. That's clean. That's very clean. Now let's go to the lead hook, okay? Coach Banks, go to the lead hook, please, Ninja. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Very nice. I'll get 3. 2, 3. And you go palm down or palm 2, either way or both. Mix it up, okay? Now we'll go to the rear hook. 1, 2, 3. Very nice. I'll get hooks, and again, palm down or palm to you, either way is okay. Lead uppercuts, please. 1, 2, 3. Very nice. 1, 2, 3. Now, rear uppercut. 1, 2. Very nice. Good job, baby. One thing, Coach Banks is very technically sound. while he's throwing these punches, I'm breaking them down as you should be as far as the pad holder. Look for openings while they're throwing and build what I call the counter eye. While he's throwing the rear uppercut, I'm looking for openings while he's striking. What people do quite a bit is they'll throw the rear uppercut and they'll turn their head out a lot. So turn your head out a lot and put your hand on the back of your head. They do that. The face is no longer protected. The side of his face is protected, but he turned the whole side of his face. So my point is, when you throw that rear uppercut, stay in your shell, keep your hand protected, okay? Don't reach up and lose your position, okay? Position before submission, just like in jiu-jitsu, same concepts and rules apply, okay? So I'll get 3 uppercuts, please. 1, 2, rather than that, okay? So keep that in mind, all right? Let's also get the overhand as well. Coach Banks, we're over. Nice. 1, 2, 3. And I don't want you to get too lost in the sauce, the name of the actual strike, but make sure you find the target. It doesn't matter the degree of the angle of the elbow for the name of the punch. You just hit, don't get hit, okay? Right. But here's the rear overhand for now. And I like to punch just over their shoulder and then turn it over because I'm aiming for their chin. Especially when they throw their jab, just their jab goes boom, just right over the top of that. And what you can't do is step in and allow that jab to go over your shoulder. I'm getting a little off track here, but as far as how this practically applies, Coach Banks goes to throw his jab, I step inside and allow that to go over my rear shoulder. All it does, I'm stepping with my overhand. So that's how you would practically apply that. Or even if they don't throw the jab, they have their hands up, I'll blast right through their hand. Boom. Right through their guard into their face. So keep that in mind as well. You can punch their hands into their face. So you should be warmed up now. Try not to punch your partner in the face. But now it's time to get into what Fedor does live as he draws back. He's pretty deceptive with the lead hand. He tries to keep that as a little bit of a blinder and a feeler. And he draws back, plants his feet, and then throws the cross. I'm saying plants his feet. That's what we call in our BMT system, the Boss Root inspired BMT system, Bang Muay Thai, is he plants his feet and throws the cross. We call that the plant cross. It's pulling people in out of their zone. And once he's going back, and he can catch them while they're still moving in and hit the plant cross. So let's go ahead and work that a couple times. I'll have Coach Banks go back, hit the plant cross, and make sure you set your feet and have your position set before you punch. So you have a solid foundation when you're actually punching. And I'm not rushing Coach Banks, I'm not going super slow either, but it's a nice little dance effort here. And you can just hop back, throw the cross. 2 more pieces. Baby. So that's just pulling people out of their zone and hitting that plant cross. If you, which Fedor does, he does draw back, plants his feet, and then punches, he's going to be there for a half second longer for Ryan Bader to catch him and catch that blast double A is really good at. So what I'd like to see happen is getting an angle where you're going back and not necessarily planting your feet and punching, but initiating that punch where your footwork is going. So when you're stepping back, your lead foot should go back, pushing off that. Where you're pushing off, you're already delivering your cross. But now I'm going off to the side. This is exactly how I got the fastest knockout in UFC history, by hitting what we call the KO, plant cross, pendulum cross, pulling them in but off to the side. Because again, Fedor does it right in front of the opponent, which isn't wrong, but it's still 50-50. And if he does miss, he's going to be there for that blast double with Ryan Bader. So I'd like for him to be outside of that and punching while in motion. So I'm going to pendulum my feet back in a 3/4 turn and turn this over and keep my momentum and my motion continuous, okay?
And keep in mind, guys, it's just replacing. It's not, we name out our commands with different names, but a lot of the time, to symbolize it, it's just replacing, right? We're just replacing. So people that can understand, just replace, right? Replace, replace. It was a good pendulum.
Excellent point. He's exactly that. Watch Coach Banks when he does this. He just replaces his feet. Boom. Just nice and smooth. And just let that be a dance, okay? So we were doing this a bit of a faster pace. I wouldn't make this 1-for-1. I would actually make this 5-for-5 to get the feel and the flow of it, because it is an art. In any art, you have to feel, okay? And martial, war, art, the human expression. Here we go. Oh, beautiful. See, he's getting that angle as well. So if I'm Ryan Bader and I go for that blast double, I'm off to the side. So that's a key piece of victory for Fedor, is to make sure he's still keeping his motion going and outside the hips of Ryan Bader. So we'll get a couple more, please, Coach. Beautiful. Very nice. I'm going to turn with you. I'll keep going with you. Boom.
Hey.
Very nice, and we'll keep going. We're just gonna make a circle. I want him to draw back, off to the side. I'm stepping in, trying to get him. I'm looking for that last up. See, he's keeping his motion going. He's being continuous. Couple more, please, coach. Very nice. One more. Very nice. Now, I'll get a couple as well. I want to point out a couple things. What Fedor does quite a bit is he keeps his lead hand active. So there's something in his face. He's not just sitting back ready for the right hand, because now Ryan will see that coming. He should if he stayed in the film, because that's what Fedor does quite a bit. Is he draws back and hits a plant cross. He does it right in front. I like for him to keep the angle and do that. But while you're doing this drill, keep the lead hand active. Put something in his face. And keep that momentum going. It comes in, and it should be at the point where you're just keeping your momentum going. See, that way you're not right in front of him. And hopefully that looks smooth. Pretty sure it is. Been doing it for a while. Don't rush it though. Take your time. I may have went a bit too fast. Let me do a couple more. So you're just replacing, like what Coach Banks said, your lead foot to your rear foot, pendulum. You're penduluming out. A little quarter turn there. Now as you're doing that, timing that momentum across and keeping that momentum going. I don't want you to disrupt your flow. This is a very advanced thing. At first, you just draw back, plant cross, and then I need you to punch while in motion. Now, what if they're still there, or we miss? Let's add an uppercut off of that, okay? So I'm gonna draw back, hit the plant cross, uppercut, and keep my momentum going. I don't wanna sit there with my feet planted and dig that uppercut. I'm still gonna hit that in motion. So I hit the pendulum cross, uppercut, while I'm still going. Now, I deliver the uppercut when my right foot is stepping. A lot of boxing trainers will say to set your feet and throw your punches, which I agree with. That will give you more power. The more power you throw, the longer you're stuck for.
Stationary, correct.
Gives them more time to catch you. So don't do that. Keep your momentum going. It's about piecing them up and not being there. Hitting them with some clean stuff, not getting hit, okay? So I'm gonna pendulum back with the overhand and still step the right foot as I throw the left uppercut. Right there, okay?
Keep in mind, guys, obviously we're in closed stance. That means ortho to ortho, or an open stance to southpaw to ortho. Now, as I turn into him and square back up with him, he's already off to my outside on that angle. So I have to turn completely around. He already set his angle for striking on me.
Great point, great point. That's one thing I didn't mention yet, that Ryan Bader and Fedor are both orthodox closed stance fighters. Fedor's last two fights were against southpaws, open stance, so go southpaw from a ninja. His last two opponents were in southpaw stance. Frank Mir, and then also Chael Sonnen. So it was not easier, but it is easier for you to get outside and you have so much more room to catch off of that. So that's one reason why I was able to do that. But with Bader being in a closed stance, he can still have the same option. He's actually closer there for him for the uppercut or for the overhand. Now he should step in the uppercut to make sure he's getting outside and continuing that path, getting outside the shoulder like Coach Banks said. So we are adding that lead uppercut. Step the right foot subtly as you throw it. Boom. Because you need to be moving anyway. Keep that momentum going. Coach Banks, please get a couple. Over under. Beautiful. Beautiful. Very nice, Coach. Two more, please, sir. Beautiful. I'm trying to catch him. He's out of the way. He's fast. Coach Banks is fast, right? So I am assuming this looks pretty smooth, and it is. Don't rush this, okay? If it feels choppy, it probably will. Pendulum your feet back, throw the over, keep the momentum going, and step on that uppercut as well. Lock your core and make sure you have a good solid stance. Anything you want to point out on that?
Just replace, guys. Just focus on replacing your footwork and throwing at the same time with that footwork. As that lands, just replacing. Boom. That's it.
So that is a scenario I feel Fedor Emelianenko should be doing against Ryan Bader. Pulling him back off to the side, pendulum overhand over the cross, adding that uppercut. Now, if we miss or we crack him and he's still there, let's play with that scenario. We crack him and he's still there. Let's actually come back in with two. I don't want Fedor to actually come back in with the two. Well, if he cracks Ryan, he should finish him off, okay? So we're gonna play with that scenario. Let's say we're extremely successful with the overhand and the uppercut. We cracked him, we rocked him. Let's finish him off with two down the pipe, okay? So we're gonna go back, over, under, plant our feet, come back in with the two. So we go over, under, back in with the two. Now I'm gonna go on his rear mitt. Just make sure that's a subtle, smooth transition with the footwork, okay? So over, under, plant the feet, come back in with 2, okay? I'll get 2 more total. Over, under. Coach Banks, get a couple please, sir. Over, under. Very nice. Good job, baby. Very nice. 2 more. Very nice. You pendulum hop back in. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Very nice. 2 more of those. Very nice. Good flow right there. Very nice. 1 more, please, baby. Very nice. So pull him in, crack him, stay on him, finish him off. But keep your momentum going. Keep that in your mind. Keep the momentum going until you're registered you've cracked him. If you cracked him and hurt him, finish him off. But don't get stuck in the habit of hurting him and then exiting. If you hurt him, register the opening.
Stay on
finish him off. Stay on him. Finish him off, okay? So that's what I feel Fedor Emelianenko should be doing against Ryan Bader. Now we're going to talk about Ryan Bader. So what Ryan was able to do against King Mo Lawal was fake some takedowns and crack him with some punches, okay? So we already warmed up the single punch series. We broke down what I feel Fedor should be doing. Now with Ryan, it's pretty much the same thing. He's gonna be looking to get that blast double, and Fedor, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be expecting that. Because he's gonna be expecting that, he's probably gonna be lowering his level and his hands. When he lowers his level in his hands, that's gonna be leave him susceptible to the punches. And that's exactly how he caught King Mo Lawal. He changed level and then stepped on the hook and caught him. Now, one thing that does is all you're doing is just walking. That's how you walk. Pretty simple, right? Now, with him stepping outside, it's giving Fedor the actual angle. Boom. But he's catching him while he's moving out. Now, here's the race. What if I throw my hook and Fedor throws his right hand? There's the race. So he has to be mindful of that one. But still, it's a good clean punch, so don't neglect it because that's how he knocked out King Mo Lawal again. So keep that going, and if that is an actual fake, you can get that blast double and take him down. So it is about timing and accuracy, which Fedor is really good at. He's not, I don't feel very technically sound, but his power and his accuracy is what sets him apart, okay? But the power of Ryan Bader, Ryan's got knockout power in both hands, so does Fedor. So again, we'll stay on topic with Ryan. What I feel he should be doing is mixing up his level changes and getting Fedor to the ground. But before he can actually make them happen, let's actually punch him in the face first, okay? So let's get a level change. They'll step the right foot out as we throw the left hook. The level change is gonna be important because as I change my level, Fedor should be changing his level and be able to punch him on that transition, okay? So all I'm gonna do is just change my level and step my right leg forward outside his left leg and step on that punch, catching him, okay? So Coach Banks, you get a couple of those as well. He's just gonna change level and step his right foot out and throw the left hook. And one thing you could do as well, because this is a close stance scenario and Fedor doesn't throw many left kicks, you can actually get a bird off of this. What a bird is just a distractive arm flick before you actually attack, to get them to freeze, to get them to react. So I can actually throw a bird, level change, and then hook. So that's another thing that Ryan should be doing or can be doing to disrupt Fedor's rhythm. So let's get a bird, level change, and then punch. And then you get the blast double off of that if he likes. But it's about mixing up his strikes and his wrestling, which is the way he's been doing very well at with the Matt Mitrione as well. He mauled Mitrione. I was very impressed with his control of Mitrione. He was able to dump him repeatedly, secure the position, 1 or 2 power solid ground and pound shots back to secure the position. So his ground and pound, Fedor does not want to be on the ground with Ryan Bader, on his back anyway. Ryan's going to be mauling him his, again, championship mindset, his belief, his confidence. His confidence is huge. He is the current champion and he believes he is the champion. Well, he is, but he knows, he believes. He's at his peak prime state right now. He's in great shape. I felt Fedor actually got a little tired on his last 2 fights, and that will be a huge piece of the puzzle.
It's going to be about timing also with Ryan. Yeah. Because Fedor's, he's fast, he's accurate, and he's strong and accurate, and he's quick. And if he sits on his feet, he's going to knock him. So as far as that goes, Ryan's going to have to be a lot quicker on hands if he wants to pull a takedown off.
For sure. You should have to cut him off, crown against the cage. Let's change level, step hook, do a few of those, add some birds in the mix, okay? So level change, bird, shoot that hook. I'm stepping out, continuing to keep my distance. What I feel Ryan should actually do, bird, level change, hook, and then come back in for that blast double. So it's actually what he should be doing is level change, get that hook, and step back through, blast double. So that's one way you should mix that up. Coach Banks, get a couple, level change hook. Beautiful. 2 more, please, Ninja. Great bird, great bird. That made my eye go, what? What's going on? A little quick distraction. You want to get their Wi-Fi buffering. When their Wi-Fi is buffering, crack them. Okay, that's going to be the key piece to the decision off of that as far as landing these accurate shots. Now, another thing that Ryan should be doing is throwing his right hand. His right hand is solid. Let's set that up with left bird, because one thing that Fedor does quite a bit is he goes straight back, which we talked about, and he throws the right hand. What Ryan Bader can be doing is have his left foot outside Fedor's right foot, so he's splitting the guard this way. Fedor does take off this direction, but not that often. He's typically going back this way. So if I can already help start cutting him off or baiting that right hand, I can alley cross him. Or Ryan can alley cross Fedor. So that'd be another easy, not easy, but an easy way for him to set up that blast double. Is backing him up, getting him to the right hand, alley crossing that, boom, blast doubling. So that's another key piece of victory for Ryan Bader. So we can set that up. Let's work on that. Alley cross, head in motion while you're throwing. We can just be stationary for now. I'm gonna have Coach Banks slowly throw this cross. I'm gonna rock my head outside and throw my cross to his chest. Just nice and light. Typically, we'd like to have both sides of our face touch when we're punching, nice and clean, compact. But now we're gonna call an alley cross. Well, there's the alley, allowing their punch to go over us, just like we did earlier off of his jab in the single punch series. When Coach Banks would throw his jab in my face, stepping in, allowing that to go over my shoulder. I want that same thing to happen now, but I want to be off his right hand, stepping outside and slipping that. While I'm slipping, I might as well punch. Alley cross to the chest. Then he can step back through for the blast double. So, you can tie these two things together. Back him up, bait Fedor to throw the right hand, alley cross, blast double. First, stationary, no motion, he throws across, alley cross. Throws across, alley cross. One more time, boom. Now we'll add a little bit of motion. I want to go off Coach Banks' reaction. When he throws the cross, I want to throw my alley cross. So make sure that's actually the timing of it. You're going to go off of him, not when you want to throw. Well, you want to throw when he throws. When he decides to throw, he's got to throw. But again, with Fedor, his cross has no telegraphing key. That thing just comes out. It is smooth. It is, well, Fedor, world class at the highest level. His right hand is the right hand. It's one of the best right hands I've ever seen. Boxing, kickboxing, mixed martial arts. It is a very powerful, clean right hand. One thing that he does off that as well, though, is he throws the right hand so hard that his right hip trolls forward. Let your right hip troll forward, sir? So when his right hip trolls forward, that's going to be easier for Ryan to get that blast double. So if he can, Ryan can back up Fedor, get him to throw the right hand, alley cross, it brings that hip forward, even easier for that blast double. So he has to be mindful of that. Well, let's talk about that though. If I throw my cross right here on the Coach Banks' mitt, I'll throw a cross there, boom, that's my distance, okay? Now, if Coach Banks steps back, boom, I'm out of range. But if I step on that punch, I can actually hit him now. Because what, I just cleared, what is that, 2, 3, 4 feet there. So I can actually find him. But when you're changing your hip position, you're square for half second. Now, if I'm square for half second and I miss that punch, there's the blast double. So that's when it won't be a good night for Fedor. So even though he's got a good power and accuracy, if he allows that hip to troll forward and gets taken down with the blast double from Ryan Bader, it won't be a good night. So that's one thing he has to be mindful of. Again, let's work on the alley cross from motion. Coach Banks will be moving back. I'm going to try finding him. Alley cross, step through, blast double. Okay? So to make that the drill now. He'll move back, alley cross, blast double. Let's get 2 more. Your right hand should actually go on the knee. I missed that one. Boom. Boom. Right there. 2 more, please. Head position, head up. 1 more, please, Ninja. Getting that blast double off for that. So, very simple information this week. Just single punches, right? But learning how to set them up and time them. Single punch series to warm up. Going back, plant cross, pendulum cross, add the uppercut while you're moving. Pendulum overhand, uppercut coming back with the 2. If you crack them, finish them off. What Ryan Bader should be doing is corralling him, setting him up, level changing, hitting with that step hook. Also, level change overhand. This is gonna be another option for him. Because again, he's got power off both hands. So if he can get Fedor to lower his base, drop his hands, and catch him over the top of the overhand, across, even an uppercut, he could change level and go uppercut as well. But that's one thing that Fedor looks to do as well, is he likes to hit that overhand and that uppercut, so he has to watch that, right? So it's gonna be who can implement their game. And I feel with Ryan being the champion right now and having that confidence, that belief, he's gonna take this fight. But I would sure like, well, I don't really care who wins. This one I have a good, clean fight. But any more pieces you want to talk about that? Again, a simple week, single punches, just with motion. Pull the guy in out of their position. Because just like in jiu-jitsu, submission before position. Once you guys have played with this material, go ahead and do 2 rounds apiece, numbers all commands. But I would do it while backing up and still implementing your game of pulling them out of position. Do another 2 rounds, all commands, applying a lot of pressure. So you're working on pulling somebody in, and then you're working on pushing somebody back. So you can actually control that gap and be versed in all aspects. That is this week's curriculum and information class. Coach, thank you, sir. Boom.